Ultimately, data is about culture, the culture of your organization, and the norms around decision making for the people within it. Something that bothers me about the mainstream discussion around data and analytics is that it focuses too much on the technology and not enough on the people, specifically behavior, how decisions are being made in an organization, and the willingness to change. Fundamentally, it's about a company deciding that they want their people to be able to exercise good judgment. In a recent online talk I gave, I shared how access to data that people trust changes how a company operates. Instead of decisions being made by just a few, now you've allowed more people to participate and contribute towards advancing the measures that matter for your organization, and in some cases, even to develop brand new solutions that remove the manual processes entirely. If you want your team or organization to become more data driven, first have a look at how decisions are being made within your company, and then ask, are you willing to change that? Here are a few points from the talk. So ultimately, what I would challenge people to think about is that when people think data, they think it's something really uh, techy, something that's very basically just bells and whistles and flashing lights. But really, what I think the main point of data really is about transforming decision-making cultures in organizations. It's about what is the essence of your company, how do you make decisions, how do you operate, how do you listen to each other, how do you decide what's the best course of action. Because if you think about what a company is, effectively it's a group of people getting together, applying their skills to reach a common objective. Depending on what objective it is that you set. So how do you make sure that as you have more people in the organization, that you're still pointing in the same direction, still working towards the same place, whether you are aligned? And this really comes with how your culture operates. And I would argue that that culture is very much driven by access to data. A really interesting piece of advice that Brian Chesky, the founder of Airbnb, was given was that the investor told him, don't mess up the culture. That's the most important thing that you have to do as a founder. And what we've observed working with companies who are adopting data analytics is that, interestingly, it's a very similar curve or a very similar process that a lot of companies go through when it comes to data adoption. And it's that process of that cycle that you saw on the previous slide. And it's actually a behavior that's learned. Basically, maybe there was originally a data champion that was pushing things internally, and then the question was, were they able to create some access to data capabilities? Were they able to improve the way people did things? And by that process of providing such capabilities, did people become able to make better decisions, be able to produce some better results, and then everyone starts buying into the idea that yes, let's get more data-driven processes. Let's use this as a way of making sure that we are building the company in the right way and we're achieving the results that we want. So it becomes a virtuous cycle. But getting to that virtuous cycle is the challenge and also the topic of what we're discussing today.